What is good, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy Chad bringing y'all another video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about none other than Elon Musk again. But this time, he's trying to buy Twitter for $43 billion. Now, as we know, Elon, he bought, like 9.2 billion dollars worth of shares, which gave him like 9% of the Twitter. They then said, okay, we're gonna try to add him to the board of directors or the board, whatever you want to call it, the board of Twitter, and he declined. Now, the reason he declined is because if he becomes on the board, he can only get 14% of the shares of Twitter max. He can't get any more, and so he wouldn't have as much say so if he just got up to 14% of the shares and he couldn't really do anything, versus if he declines and just says like, nah, I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is and I'm finna buy y'all. And that's exactly what he's doing. So instead of Elon going through and saying, oh, let's try to figure out a way to make things better and being on the board, he's like, nah, we just gonna get to the root of the problem. I'm gonna buy it and do what I need to do with Twitter. Now, this move right here, Elon took both his nuts and placed them on top of all the liberals' foreheads and all the people on Twitter who work for the company that got mad. Like, he just did the big boss move. I don't know what got into Elon's food lately or his water, but this man has been piping up, you feel me? So, without further ado, I do have an article here from CNBC, and I'll just read like quick snippets of the article and then give you guys my 2 cents on what I think is going to happen here. But just to, show you guys that this is real, Elon did actually tweet, I made an offer, and he put down like the SEC Gov archives and like the whole entire thing that he had to go through to make the offer for Twitter. And it has 73,000 retweets, 504.9K likes. So yeah, Elon's not playing. He did say, like I said, he put up that tweet. Do you guys think Twitter's a free speech platform? Based on these results, there will be serious consequences. And as we see, that boy's not playing. He has some serious consequences coming. So, Elon Musk offered to buy Twitter for $54.20 a share, or about $43 billion. I invested in Twitter as I believe in its potential to be the platform for free speech around the globe, and I believe free speech is a societal imperative for functioning democracy, Musk wrote in a letter sent to Twitter chairman Brett Taylor. So Elon Musk, like I said, he does believe that he is a free speech absolutist, meaning that Elon Musk wants speech to be free on Twitter because, like I said, about the public forum and everything like that. So Elon Musk offered to buy Twitter for $54.20 a share in a filing published Thursday, saying the social media company needs to be transformed privately. A little over a week after revealing a 9.2% stake in the company, Musk's offer values Twitter at about $43 billion. So Elon Musk has money if he can just throw around $43 billion just to buy a social media company. But in this circumstance, I would say this is a good thing because Twitter doesn't really want to go for freedom of speech. Like I said, he said he invested in Twitter because of that. Twitter shares were up about 4% Thursday morning after closing at $45.85 a share on Wednesday. Tesla stock dipped more than 3% on the news. According to Musk, the social media company needs to go private because it can neither thrive nor serve free speech in its current state. So what he's saying is that Twitter needs to be, instead of a public company where they're having to, I guess, do everything that's like, they're trying to be like their own entity or their own person, they need to be privatized. As a result, I'm offering to buy 100% of Twitter for, the $54.20 per cash, a 54% premium over the day before I began investing in Twitter, and a 38% premium over the day before my investment was publicly announced, he wrote. My offer is my best and final offer, and is not accepted, I will need to reconsider my position as a shareholder. Musk tapped Morgan Stanley as a financial advisor, according to the filing. And when you do look at the filing, it does say Morgan Stanley. The Twitter board of directors will carefully review the proposal to determine the course of action that it believes is in the best interest of the company and all Twitter stockholders, the company said in a statement Thursday in response of an offer. The Twitter's board will meet 10 a.m. to evaluate the bid, per people familiar. The news comes just days after Twitter CEO Parag Ogren warned investors of distractions ahead. So the new CEO after Jack Dorsey dropped down is warning investors of distractions ahead because Elon, I'm guessing, didn't want to join the board. Rightfully so. So now they're calling it distractions. Now, if Elon ends up coming through and buying Twitter, that's going to be just crazy. It's going to be like, dang, like, Elon Musk just bought Twitter. Musk first disclosed his stake in the social media giant on April 4th. He later landed a seat on the board of directors before reversing those plans. The Tesla CEO has previously criticized the social media giant publicly, polling people on Twitter last month about whether the company abides by free speech principles. He also said he was considering building a new social media platform. Shares of Twitter have seesawed in recent weeks amid the news from Musk, but are up 6% this year and 18.5% since the start of the month. Here's the letter Musk sent as disclosed in a securities filing. I invested in Twitter as I believe in its potential to be a platform for free speech around the globe, and I believe free speech is a societal imperative for a functioning democracy. However, since making my investment, I now realize the company will neither thrive nor serve this societal imperative in its current form. Twitter needs to be transformed as a private company. As a result, I am offering to buy 100% of Twitter for the $54.20 per share in cash, a 54% premium over the days before I began investing in Twitter, and a 38% premium over the day before my investment was publicly announced. My offer is my best and final offer is not accepted. I will need to reconsider my position as a shareholder. Twitter has extraordinary potential. I will unlock it. So you heard it from Elon first. Twitter has extraordinary potential and he will unlock it. That boy said he got the keys to the freedom of speech. Yo, I could really be a rapper like that kind of rhyme. I got the keys to the freedom of speech. Elon Musk. But for real, this is kind of crazy, you know, with all this Twitter news, you know, Elon has actually shaken some things up. He shook things up with the Twitter poll. He shook things up by just buying the shares. He shook things up by denying the board, being on the board of directors. And now he's like, yo, $43 billion for Twitter right now. So I don't honestly know what's going to happen next, but I do think this is important to see because of how Twitter leans only to one demographic of political ideology, Democrats and liberals. It's like if you're anything else, you get shadow banned, you get silenced, you get censored. You know, Twitter did say they weren't going to bring back Trump to the platform, but it looks like if Elon buys Twitter, he can do what he wants. You feel me? Like I said, he took his nuts and dropped them on all the Democrats and liberals' faces. And even the people that work for Twitter. So Elon, to me, he's not playing around like, buddy wants this. Like you can tell when Elon wants something by, well, I'm not gonna say because I don't know Elon. So it's like I'm talking like I know him, but you can tell that he wants to make a change and how he feels about the freedom of speech and where he sees Twitter going if it continues down this path. And he's like, yo, I got the, like Twitter has the potential to be that platform. But I'm gonna have to change it. Either that or if they decline, you know, maybe Elon will start up his own social media. Because he is like a liberal, you know what I mean? But he values freedom of speech. So it won't be like one of the other platforms that just conservatives and Republicans going over to it and it's just being an echo chamber. But anyways, man, let me know your comments down below. I just wanted to make this video really fast just because I just heard of this news while at work. And I was like, yo, Elon, he said he's about to do it. He finna do the thing. I got the keys to the streets for the freedom of speech. Bye.